I can say that Palermo is probably one of the best places for nomads. The problem is not the know-how. You need to know where to take this knowledge and then how to apply. I'm more than a customer care. I'm more a life saver. It's my lifestyle. I choose it, and then I need to take the responsibility.
Welcome to Where She Builds,
the podcast where two globetrotting solopreneurs share the real journey of building a life and business on the move.
I'm Shandy, an online personal trainer helping people feel strong anywhere in the world.
And I'm Anna, creator of Your Travel Friend Anna, a global community and go-to resource for those wanting to live a fulfilling and culturally curious life.
Thanks for being here.
Let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the Where She Builds podcast. My name is Anna, your travel friend Anna, joined always by Shandy, a coach Shandy. Happy recording day, Shandy. How are you?
I'm good, Anna. How are you?
I'm doing well. Enjoying midday recording. I don't know what else to say.
A bit frazzled today.
I frazzled in the morning, but it's all good. It's I'm used to a slow morning. I've said this before. Lately, I've been drinking my coffee and truthfully watching Love Island Australia as my first thing in the morning.
You know what's so funny? Every time I see Love Island now, like coming up on something, I always think of you. And we are going to watch Netflix every so often. It comes up, continue watching Love Island. And I'm like, no, only if Anna's here.
That was Love is Blind.
Oh, that's true. That's different.
That's true. But okay. I would watch that too. But Love Island, because it's filmed and then like edited 2 to 3 days later, and it comes out like 4 to 5 times a week. Don't have people. Whoa. It's just my like, I don't know. It's just nice and chill, and I like a slow morning. And this morning, my Love Island watching got interrupted with some work, but it's okay. So I watched it right before this episode to bring me down.
Good. You always need a little break. That's good.
If anyone watches it, please tell me in the comments, because this episode was spicy. Yeah. My jaw was on. Like there was some partner switching. It was dramatic. Anyway.
Ooh. Okay.
Shetty has no clue what I'm talking about. Anyway. We have a question from actually a follower that we wanted to address. So we had someone on one of our YouTube videos, the episode 23, which was talking about planning travel. We had a question from LEED216. What about medical or cancellation insurance? They were asking with our travel planning. Do you have any tips on this, Shandy?
I mean, yeah, of course, like coming from Canada, I think you can also get travel insurance through your visas, right? Through your Visa MasterCard kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant, I was thinking country visa.
Oh, no. Like if you have a visa
credit
or something.
card,
that's the word. You can go. Good morning. Maybe I need another coffee. Yes. That. Your credit card, and you can get insurance through that. I think you just have to call them up, right? I did that a long time ago, but now I just get my health insurance in the Netherlands is covered also with travel and everything. Okay. So you just pay one lump sum per month. That's also my insurance here. Mm-hmm. But how does it? I actually don't remember how it works in Canada now with travel insurance. What do you do?
Well, so I think what we need to differentiate. Hard word, differentiate.
We're struggling today.
It's like noon. We should be fine, or 1 o'clock. Is you're talking about on a credit card cancellation insurance. So I think we need to differentiate that there's health insurance, health travel insurance, and then there's like cancellation, lost baggage, lost belongings, this kind of thing. So my credit card is a Scotiabank Visa travel credit card. I love it for 2 factors. It doesn't have the fee that they charge when they're exchanging money. You have the exchange rate, but it doesn't have the foreign transaction exchange fee thing. It's like 0.2%.
Foreign exchange rate or something like that?
Yeah. It's so little, but it really adds up when you use your credit card a lot. So mine I know has trip cancellation, lost baggage. It has some car insurance as well. But you have to make sure that if you rent a car, you need to pay the car with that. So for example, Montenegro, they wanted the cash and deposit, but I was like, can I please pay for the car insurance by card? And I actually had to pay a bank fee. But for me, it was worth it because then I had insurance on it. For travel health insurance, I believe that with Canadian premiums, if you pay private health insurance in Canada, you can ask to add a travel component on. So if your employer provides it, or you pay for something like Pacific Blue Cross, this kind of thing, Alberta Blue Cross. But for me, I'm not a part of a private, so I pay for Safety Wing, and this is my choice of health insurance, which also has some cancellation insurance in it. I don't pay for one where it's allowing me to go to a doctor, a dentist, physio, massage. They now do have this option of nomad insurance, where you basically, it's like paying for private health insurance in your local country. But I just
Yeah.
pay for the emergency one, which would give me ambulance, hospitalization, dental, if I needed to be transported home, these kind of intense. It would give
Yeah.
you like a hotel for one family member should something happen. So knock on wood to it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And big tip, always look at the reviews of something that you're going to purchase insurance or something, because I also
Yeah.
had a really bad experience when a couple years ago, I got insurance from the States, actually. It was a company from the States. I had got it because I was living in the Netherlands, going back and forth here and there. So I just bought the cheapest insurance that I could find. Didn't really do that much research into it. And then I had something come up, and then they were saying that they were going to pay for something, and it ended up just being a complete nightmare. It was, I think, a year later that I finally got paid out, but it was calling them, and they were just really terrible service.
Yeah.
And then I looked later on at all of their ratings, and they had like a 1-star review. So please do your research. Don't be stupid like I was. Just look up into, see what the ratings are, and don't go for the cheapest one. I always suggest like the cheapest one it's great if you want to save money, but then also look at what it's giving you. If you actually need something when you're in a situation, God forbid, it's better to be more protected than less.
I think exactly that. You need to look at like, what is the coverage? What are the it's like max, like it can be $1 million maximum, but you know, if you have to be like flown home.
Yeah, repatriation too. Like,
that's the word. Big
Yeah.
word. Thank you, Shandy, for doing it.
You're welcome.
For covering it for both of us. And then also, I can't say for Safety Wing, I forget the name, but it's not Safety Wing insurance. It's working with a greater health insurance. It's branded as Safety Wing. So that's something to look at too, is that sometimes, I don't know, I'm just going to make up one. It's like Travel 123 insurance, but it's actually like Alliance Global Insurance. Just remember that that's who you're actually going to be dealing with if you have to submit a claim or have to talk to insurance. And then what's the process should you have to submit something as well? Is it like you can call them up front and they'll give you cash, or it's you have to pay up front and then submit a form? And
yeah, and I think it usually tends to be that you pay up front and then they pay later, depending on, of course, which company you go with. But just also be prepared for that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Great question.
yes.
Love it.
Okay, and there was one other update we wanted to bring. Well, I'm bringing news to Shandy and you listeners. I thought we should bring a little bit of a travel update for you all, that as of October 12th, leading to around April 2026, there are going to be some new border security measures going into and out of Schengen countries. Of course, do your own research. And you can also listen to our friends at Travel Mug Podcast. They did a small episode on this as well. But basically, my understanding of it is if you are entering or exiting a Schengen zone country without an EU passport, that you will be asked to be fingerprinted as just an extra border security. So make sure you count your Schengen days. And if you have no clue what we're talking about in terms of the Schengen zone or Schengen days, you need to do a Google research. We are talking to you, Canadian friends, who think that you can stay longer than 3 months in a European Schengen country. And then Shandy was like, but wait, what about me? Because your situation's a little different if you're open to sharing.
Yeah, of course. So I have a Dutch residence permit. So I was always curious, like when you told me this 10 minutes ago, I was like, I wonder if I would have to then do the fingerprinting. Not that I'm against it, it's totally fine. But I wondered if I would have to do the fingerprinting in the pictures as well, because I have the residence permit. And right now, if I'm traveling in or out of the EU, I can use my residence permit with my passport. They're kind of, I think, somehow together.
See, I get confused because when she's like your hand is as if you're holding up a driver license. That's
yeah,
why
it's
I think
like
I
the
get
size.
But it's
Yeah.
attached, like it's connected to your passport.
It must be. Yeah, it's somehow
Okay.
connected to my passport. Let's say like if they have to always scan that, and then they scan my passport if I'm going through actually talking with people. If I'm going through, I think the gates, like the automatic gate, I think
Yes.
I can just scan my passport, and because that is attached somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. Sometimes I go through the people, sometimes I go through the gates. I just kind of see how I'm feeling, if I want to talk to people or not. But I do like going through with just talking with people because I like getting the stamp. I like showing off my stamps.
I've got no stamps in my one passport.
It's so sad, right?
I think I have like 2 and I've been using it. I've gone through a lot of countries with it. So it's kind of like invisible, I feel. I'm like, I swear
know.
I've traveled.
I know. I was so sad because I had to get a new passport this year, and my old passport I had since 2016. It must be
Probably,
2015. But that was all of my travels because I started traveling in 2018. So I had literally 1 page left that didn't have a stamp in it. And I was like, I needed a new one anyways. But I was so sad because now I don't think I have any stamps in my passport. I'm like, oh, feel like I'm restarting again.
Yeah, you're refreshing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a slow rollout. I do know of a friend who crossed Croatian into Montenegro, and there was a extra long lineup on the land
Oh.
border there, that because of this fingerprint requirement. And yeah, I would just know that they're gonna have your fingerprints now. I don't really know what that all means, but they will. So yeah, just count your Schengen days. There's some cool apps out there, and it's
Yeah.
a rolling thing. So if you, by the time you, I don't know how do you explain rolling days? By the time you're one day out of Schengen, then you get one back within a
Yeah.
certain period.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good explanation. Also, just to piggyback onto what you said, I read earlier, again, do your own research, but that they keep the data for 3 years. So they scan your fingerprints and pictures and everything, keep it for 3 years, and then it makes the next process, like the next time you come in, quicker. It should, in theory.
Yes, it should. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
just like with all the automations, like in Europe, I find a lot of the airports have the scanning passport thing where it's faster, but depending on your passport and depending if you have a visa. But this also brought up this, we're getting into like a little bit of travel chat, but
Fun,
it's
yeah.
relevant because a lot of travel is happening around the holidays too. So in Canada, some people have had to have like a small visitor visa, but we also read that I think in 2026 it's happening that we as in Canadians, we say we, and a lot of, I think, Americans, Brazilians, people are similar. We're going to have some visas to enter the EU. Shandy's researching right now. She's asking, are you asking
Because we were talking about
ChatGPT
that.
or Google?
No, just Google.
Okay.
Google. But we were talking about this before, that Canadians needed some sort of visa to come in 2026, I think. But then I read an article about it, but then I never heard anything else about it. So I wasn't sure if it is actually rolling through or not. So I'm just going to give it a quick Google. So feel free to keep talking.
do. Actually, you know what's funny is I asked some Brazilians. Here's a side story. We were waiting, I don't know, waiting for food or something. I was hanging out with some Brazilian friends and I was like, do you guys have this sound? And
nobody knows what it is, right?
They looked at me like, this is very much a North American show. So it's the Jeopardy show waiting theme song.
Okay, so just a quick read. Of course, I mean, this has been for a long time that Europeans coming into Canada need, I think, what's called an ESTA. But then Canadians now going into the EU, they'll need to apply for, it's called a Mandatory European Travel Information and Authorization System, or ETIAS.
My
so
Lord.
it's
Could
like,
they make that shorter?
I know. And it says it's starting April 10th in 2026. Again, do your own research.
Okay.
But it's some sort of like an entry-exit system that also has, maybe that correlation that's with the biometrics collection at the border. So maybe that's.
But is this, okay, so question. My understanding of the biometrics is the Schengen zone. Is this European continent, European Union, or Schengen?
Okay, I'm reading Schengen. So I wonder if they're the same thing.
Maybe right after they do the biometrics, the fingerprinting, then they're starting to roll out this visa. And with the fingerprinting, they'll have better tracking for if you've had.
Yeah. Anybody listening, do your own research into it. If you're going into EU in the next couple months or even next year, look into it before you get somewhere, because then I've also had an experience with a friend that was traveling. She was going to Southeast Asia. She didn't do her research, and it turned out that she couldn't board her plane to go from Canada to Southeast Asia. And then her whole trip was done. She couldn't go. So do your research. Make sure that if you are going to a certain country, that you know that if you need a visa, apply for it well in advance. Don't be a visa passport kind of person that is like getting the expedited visa while you're sitting waiting for your flight. Just do it. You're fine. Do some research. It'll be all good.
I have to admit that I have been super privileged traveling through Europe that I don't even think about this. And I know that this is something in my travel journey I'm going to have to change quite quickly should I want to expand where I'm going.
Yeah.
Just, I feel like also April seems very cheeky of a rollout because of European summer. So I feel like they're doing it there to catch people as they come into Europe.
For sure they are.
They're going to be like, oh, I think it's going to be cheap. It's like £8, €8.
Yeah.
But then they're
like
probably
that.
going to be like, oh, you didn't have one. It's 50 now. Cha-ching.
Yeah, because then it's that late expedited service, right?
Yeah.
Even though they just need to click say yes, you're good. But lots of news.
Yeah, lots
Lots
of
of
travel
travel
news.
news.
We just wanted to keep you in the loop because I felt like it's so fun to have this platform to be able to inform people. And
Yeah.
clearly I updated even Shandy on this new, and you're traveling next week, Shandy?
That's true. So the thing is, like, we haven't really traveled that much this year apart from with the van. And then I feel like
Okay.
we're just kind of like taking a travel break. So now I'm just not keeping up to
Yeah.
date with anything because I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, now because we were just going back and forth from Canada to here. So now we're going to Canada and then to Central America. So we should start doing some research there too.
Yeah, keep us informed, keep us updated on the Chitty Chat, whether you two, in the case of having some European paperwork, if you have any fingerprinting situation. Okay, what else is happening before we end our Chitty Chat here? Any other news to share?
It's no news, always busy. Like every time you ask this, I'm like, I don't know. What about you? You're leaving soon. You're going on a new trip, new destination. I don't know if you want to release which destination, but
I think we'll wait till.
Yeah.
We might actually wait till the new season in January that's going to come out. But I am leaving what has been 3 weeks in Lake Ohrid, North Macedonia. I just wanted to take a moment and say that this destination is really cool. I've been here off season, so it's been a bit rainy and cold now, and it's quite quiet in the town. It started a little bit different. In the summer, I can imagine it's crazy busy here because they have a 2-month music festival. I've been staying at the cutest little hostel called Iris Agata Hostel. So I will add that. I think I'll add it in the show notes because it's lovely, owned by a local Macedonian family. It's very cute. Shandy, it is the cleanest hostel I've ever stayed in.
Really?
Can I just say why? He takes the dishes once a month and puts them in a dishwasher so that they're all clean. Bless. Also, the cushions of the covers of the cushions have gotten washed. Bless. My room has gotten cleaned every 5 days. They offered every 4, and I was like, every fine is plenty. Spotless. Like,
wow.
It's so nice to like come into a hostel kitchen, be able to cook and just grab a cup of water and not be like, this glass has never seen hot water.
Gross.
So
yuck.
And it's so cute and colorful. So if you see this fun green background, if you're watching on YouTube, it's just a hostel that actually has some interior design to it and just feels really homey. So I just wanted to give them a shout out because it's been a wonderful stay. It's been great. Wi-Fi's been great.
Yeah, that's such a nice way to put it too, that a hostel feels homey, because sometimes you get into a hostel and you're like, like what you just said, you get a glass of water and you think that's really gross, or you lay in bed and you just think like it's maybe not the cleanest. So that's so nice.
I've had the best sleeps here. Like honestly, everything feels really fresh. The mattress is nice. Everything's very clean. And on my birthday, I didn't mention this last week's Chitty Chat. I think I said I got a cake, but they full on came and brought me breakfast and a cake, and
that is so sweet.
Just been
all those
really
little
nice.
things that just make such a big difference in your experience overall. I love that. And
It's
would
been
you go
great.
back?
I would like to come back to this region. I don't think full season is for me, but I think maybe May or start of June or like September where I could swim more. So I got one swim in.
On your birthday.
Yes. Which I'm glad I did that day, because since then the weather has shifted where it's definitely too cold now. It's like it would be tricky afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
One swim in Lake Ohrid, I can say I did it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You didn't see any snakes? Any water
No.
snakes?
Should I have?
Well, when we were there, we went supping, so stand-up paddleboarding.
Yeah.
And they told us that there were snakes in the water. And then when we were looking down, there's like water snakes.
Oh, good to know.
So I didn't want to mention it when you said you were going to go swimming. So I just
good to know.
You're bringing information to me. I'm bringing information to you.
You're such a friend to tell me after the fact, Shandy.
I don't think they're dangerous. They're just gross.
But they're not eels. They're water snakes?
No, they're water snakes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google
I mean,
it
lots of
again.
people swim in the lake, so I can't imagine they're that harmful. I don't think they would allow you to go on subboards if they were actually like,
No.
poisonous. So
Yeah. No. I just Googled it. They're harmless and a
Okay.
natural part of the ecosystem.
okay.
So it's just, you just see them sometimes swimming around.
Okay, well, this is our second last episode for the year, and it is part 2 of a conversation with Marco. So if you did not listen to last week's episode, go back. It's better to go back and listen to that episode before we dive into part 2 here, because you get to know a bit about him, and now we're going to talk about his project.
Yes, I'm excited for you guys to listen to it. It's such a nice one too. Yeah, love it.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Marco is a driven person and entrepreneur, and there's no doubt this comes across in his community projects. If you didn't get a chance to learn more about why he's so passionate, go back to episode 24, the one before this episode, for the first half of our two-part conversation with Marco. In this episode, it's all about community, not just as a business venture, but importantly, creating spaces for digital nomads, creatives, travelers, and connections in Palermo. Welcome back to Where She Builds, Marco.
Hello?
He is here.
He's here. He's back.
I'm back.
Still in Palermo.
Still in Palermo, yes.
Still our first Italian, and this is our first two-part episode, so let's give this a try. All right, well, as Shandy shared, we're talking all about community, and you have a very special community project, more than a project, in Palermo called Beet Community. So if no one's ever heard of it, how can you describe what Beet Community is to us?
Beet Community is a place where you can feel home. So the main goal is hosting like digital nomads or solo travelers that are looking for community, and then of course a place where to stay, where to work, and connect with good people as you do like in your own family.
I love that. That's so sweet.
So warm and
Oh,
fuzzy.
Yeah. And Marco, what was the spark or the idea to create Beet Community?
The idea is started directly by a co-living. So we start to develop, like, as I mentioned, like in the other episode, was like a project work in my innovation and design management master. And so the idea is to create like a space that is strictly connected also with my consulting company, that is Beetroot, the name. That's why Beet Community. So the main idea of the co-living is to hosting like people that is traveling and working. In this way, the consulting company can create new project or help someone else to create other projects. So it's like basically based on like develop like new business opportunities and try to have like also good impact in the territory, because the project that usually born here like stay here, or like they remain connected here with Beet.
Wonderful. And there is a
Amazing.
reason why you chose the vegetable beet. What is the purpose behind this?
The purpose is that the beetroot is a root. So the idea is that is the root of your idea. And
Okay.
then like coming from the vegan world is a detox food. So if the project is a new project is a root, but if it's already started, it's a detox of your previous one. So that's why beetroot.
I
I
thought
love
Shandy
it.
might like that.
Yeah, I love it. So fun.
And why do a co-living versus a co-working space? Because a co-living means jumping into the hospitality industry. You're dealing with this kind of almost boutique hotel type method, and you're dealing with people sleeping, living, breathing, eating, not just coming to work. So why take on the whole living component of things?
Because it's giving us the opportunity to develop a real community. So with a co-working, at the beginning of the idea was like having like something that is not real complete, because of course when you come and just work, of course you spend just a limited time of your experience. But if you are living and then also working and then also going out, is a complete experience. So the connection that you can create with your mates is totally like different and unique. Then during the years is changing like just co-living just inside our wall to like a co-living inside the neighborhood, inside the city. We are trying to expand this concept, not just having a co-living like because it's like an house, but we are trying to expand also in the local way. So it can be like sharing with the neighborhoods, with the building, with the local environment. So for us, co-living is not just living in the same house, but is also sharing life with like your context. And the community is not just community in terms like of people that is living here, but community of like everything is around.
Love that. That's so nice. I love it. So what kind of energy can somebody feel when they walk into the space, whether they're coming for a day or if they're staying for a couple of months? How would you expect them to feel?
The real expectation that I want to transmit, the real feeling that I want to transmit is like you are welcome, and then you need to feel home. And then I think that we are good on it, even if we are just acting natural. So, and probably is this the point. So it's not everything like super well organized. So like you can find like in a normal B&B. So you arrive here, there is like you see that the space is alive, and then it's also happened that inside the co-living there was just one person, because can happen in like in 10 years that there is like some booking problem or like someone is going to cancel the reservation. We continue to maintain the sense of home, because the community that we have around is always like present. So even if you're going out, you find someone. So I think the most important thing is that you arrive here and then you feel like you feel at home. So the goal is this.
Yeah, this is beautiful and something we all, I think, seek, especially for digital nomads staying in a place longer. It's definitely a relaxing feeling. It helps us relax and get our nervous systems that we can work better, experience better, socialize better, and just enjoy where we are. I know that there's a special event that happens once a week that really combines people together. And speaking more of this greater community and co-living, can you share with us what these potluck evenings are?
Yeah, since 3 or 4 years, we with the goal to also involve not just the co-livers, but also the community that stay around us, that is made by locals, by expat people, that was the guest that was here for like a month, 2 months. I hear that come back in Palermo and now is living here. More or less every Tuesday, everyone is bringing something to eat or drink. We sit all together, sharing the food, the drink, and then it is like an appointment, like everyone won't be. So it's like 35, 40 people
Wow.
that is having dinner together, like enjoying time. And then of course for who is arriving, who is arrived like during the week, of course, is an opportunity to meet new people like
Yeah.
immediately.
This
Wow.
is so good. I think this is something that every co-living, should they have the opportunity to do, or any kind of co-working space as well. I think this integration of locals, again, could be expats, could be Palermo natives, could be just this integration of people who are staying for different durations of time instead of just the co-livers that are inside of this house, which are a rotating group of people who obviously bond together. But to have access to people who are working all the time and just know the city maybe a bit better, it's really special.
If you see in a city as Palermo, have like the special things to connect locals with foreigners. But if you see like in like small villages, like most more like every co-livings at the moment are more rural. So if they start to open like to the local people, to the local environment, of course they're going to have like a really good impact on the territory, because they're giving them like a good relationship with foreigners. The people can learn, the people can also revitalize what is the opportunity inside the villages. So I think it's quite important to see not just the potluck that is just one event, but it's important that also who is creating co-living or community, they need like to create this bridge between like the who stay and then who arrive.
I'm just reading here that in early 2025, you expanded the space by almost 4 times. So, what was the need to have such a bigger space then? Was it for community or was it for something else?
And is it 4 times? I think I have that number right. Almost 3.5, 4 times the size.
3.5 more or less,
I read that and I was
because
like, holy, that's a lot.
because the first space was like smaller than the capacity that we can solve to our guests.
Mm.
So at the beginning was just 3 rooms and one private apartment. That is the apartment where I live at the moment. So when there is like too much request, I move like in another place and give him my apartment.
Wow. Okay.
So there was like a lot of requests. So we decided like to enlarge it. And so the new spaces are there 9 rooms divided in like private room with private bathrooms, also single room with shared toilet. So we have now wide offer to the guests. Consider that the price started from like 900 per month, more or less, and arrived to 1,600. But the services is all included. So from the cleaning, like to toilet paper, electricity, water. So you arrive, you need just to fill your wardrobe, and then you don't need anything else. And so was that's why I don't have a lot of time for sports at the moment.
I think we can put the puzzle together. When you stopped running 40 kilometers, cycling 200 kilometers for hours, suddenly there's time for work, and you've definitely kicked up some projects in this sabbatical. Usually when we say sabbatical, this is time to rest in between your career, not the time to like increase everything.
Yeah, it's resting from one side of the life, not
There you
not
go.
the other one. So is just one is in pause, the other one is like still running. But the problem is that when you I don't know why my mind is never like stop to think, even if I'm like just relaxing, like, oh, I can create this, or like I can like add these things, and then it's a mess.
I think it's a entrepreneur brain. There's never a shut off switch. And it goes into our next question that I think if we go back to just the hospitality concept of the co-living being a space where you have about these 12 to 13 beds running, what is one of the hardest components about running an operation that's 7 days a week? And you never flip the sign to say closed.
We never close during the season, during the high or low season. So of course it's like a full-time job, like in terms that is every day, every time, and then also the problem that is appearing is like from like organizing the toilet to like I don't know, someone need to doctor to everything. So I'm like more than a customer care. I'm more like a lifesaver.
It's okay. You're just like Uncle Beet, so you just do everything.
So yes. Usually I'm doing anything, struggling from problem, trying to avoiding it. But yes,
It's just
at the end they find me.
Yeah.
He's
Floating
hiding in the
problem.
corner, in the closet.
Yeah. This more or less is as that. So they hiding themselves and then they appear. But yeah, of course, need to be a lifestyle. You need to stay with people. You need to have like a super good social battery. You need to be more always like in a good mood, not just for the people that is around you, but also because sometimes problem that's happening is you need to be concentrated and focused on it, because you don't have time to struggle. Yes, of course, it's not a real compromise with your life. It's like something that is exactly your life. So it can't be like that. I will work like 3 days or 4 days per week, and then I'm going to travel. It's more like it's my lifestyle. I choose it, and then I need to take the responsibility about that with all the inconvenience that is going to create, from like family problem to friendship problem to like, so everyone that stay around me know that if they want to meet me, they need to ring the ring phone here, so that I'm always here.
I love it.
And then when everything is everything like under control, and then we say, oh, perfect, now everything is set, I can take like 2 days, 3 days, I organize everything. When you were like starting to go out, like everything is burning. Every times that I'm trying to going out or like to take like my private space, something happens.
Yeah, you're not allowed to rest.
No.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is the most common, and then electricity is the worst way to manage it by distance. So.
Hey friend, thanks so much for listening to this episode. Shandy and I have a genuine joy for producing these episodes and creating content for you on the podcast.
If you can hit us a like and subscribe on YouTube, and also rate the show on Spotify, that would help the show grow significantly.
And it will also help us to bring bigger guests and even richer content for you in the future.
Okay, now back to the episode. So Marco, with of course you're running the co-living and everything, but what is one challenge that you would say that you're navigating in this chapter of the co-living's life?
The most important problem is that everything is based on me.
Okay.
And then, of course, for an entrepreneur, it can be a problem because it's not giving you the freedom like to also increase the project like from other levels and then other sides. So everyone that is coming is looking for me, asking for me, and then they want that I participate. So the difficulty is that you need to put some kind of border like between your personal life and then of course the work life, and then it's not always like easy and possible like to.
Yeah.
And then one problem, of course, that is strictly connected, and then is that when you are like growing as a company or like as a business ecosystem, of course, you need like to delegate. But this delegation, especially for like human relationship, is not that easy because someone need to be like your space and say the community manager, and not everyone has the same attitude or is managing the people or interacting with the people as you usually do. And then it's not something that you can really teach, or it's something that you need to trust. But in real, I don't find yet like someone that has the same attitude. So not because me I'm the best, but just because how I want that the problem is going to be managed.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to
So
train
it's a vision problem.
Yeah, and you have to trust that the person's going to execute the end goal the same way. Just maybe getting there is going to look a little differently. It's just end of the day trusting your team and
Yeah.
delegating. And for years you didn't have to do this because you just had to focus on yourself and your sport. And now when you have to rely on people in order to play this game to make it through the triathlon, it's a little different when you can't just rely on yourself to do it. So I think I think Shandy and I experienced this. I can say Shandy definitely. I'm trying to get Shandy to let me help her right now. So this is something that we're experiencing. I as well, just to try and be like opening up my book, my literal book, to just show someone my work and have their opinion and hear their feedback is a very vulnerable place to be. So we can resonate with that. But we want to shift a little bit to Palermo and the community side of things. You mentioned that there's a Potlucks, but what about Palermo, the city, is really fascinating and interesting? And what are some things that people often miss outside of the regular tourist checklist to see?
Well, I can say that Palermo is like probably one of the best place for nomads. And then it's not just because it's my city and where I'm acting, it's because it's a place that was always a mix of culture. So people was here like exchanging, spending time, coming back. So was like probably is one of the ancient nomad city that we can find around. And when you arrive here, from the architectonical side to like how the people, the locals interact, you're going to understand that there is something that you can find everywhere, but here is exactly in our culture. And I don't know if I'm explaining in the right way, but here you can find all the city of the world. You can find a piece of Barcelona, piece of Greek, piece of Arab, piece of like Northern Europe. So we had a lot of dominations. We are built on like this kind of like mix of culture, and then you can feel that is super welcome. Then
Amazing.
I can mention all the arts, all the food, and then all the things. But the real difference that you can find here is exactly the mix and how you're going to interact with the city, with the person. So because I think hospitality is something that is in our blood, in our roots. So the problem is that we are changing like this kind of hospitality in something that need to be paid, and then it's problem of course of the fast tourism, because we are like exchanging something that is from our culture for money.
How does that feel?
Yeah.
Me or in general?
Think
Both.
you personally, like, I understand. It's interesting because you're in this. You obviously have a business. You make money off of people coming to Palermo, point blank, like it's written. But then we understand I think why we wanted to interview is you, because you have this opinion of how do you do it in a way that isn't maximizing people taking advantage of the culture, and people actually trying to really know. And I know that Shandy and I have a deep interest in this idea of really involving ourselves in a community, and myself traveling. I just want to live in a place for a time. If I don't see everything that every tourist says that you should do, that's completely fine with me, because there's been very interesting experiences I've seen or people I've interacted with that really made the space feel different for me. So how does it feel when people come here and they just try and learn everything fast and don't really get to know the core of who the people of Palermo or Sicily? I don't know if I'm saying this right, like Sicilian culture as well, if it's different in Palermo versus the general Sicilian culture, and how people maybe differentiate Sicily from Italy. So many ideas here, but
So
did I
can
open a
can
can of worms as well?
can be long. So starting from like the concept of finding local. So the why the people is traveling is that because of our culture or our history, and then how we interact with them. The problem is that when you are creating a city that is based on tourism, and then you are not taking care about who is your target, and then you are investing to have these short-term trips that is just from just cruise to just weekend experience. Of course, the people is not going to understand anything about your culture. Then the city is going to transform, not is turning from like a cultured place to like just a Windows display where you have all the big brand, just food, and then all these things that of course is not natural. If you walk in the city center, and then you live in the city center, you need grocery, you need pharmacy, you need all the small things that everyone needs. So the problem is that we are transforming the city in something that is not livable anymore. And then all the people that is living inside the city is a gentrification problem. Inside the city, they are moving outside to have like exactly the neighborhood that they need. Bar, grocery, and all this stuff. I'm not saying that that city is impossible that Italy, but every other country is stopping with the tourism because it's something that is giving like money and then sustainability and something like that. But what we are missing is like a long-term vision. So who is my target and why he need to come here and who I want to attract. If I'm going to attract people that is traveling and stay longer, of course the city is going to be more livable because the tourist is changing like from just like consuming and staying like for some days to a temporary citizen. It means they are going to contribute like to the economical ecosystem and spending also their own salary, not just for restaurant, but also for nails, haircuts, sports, events, and so on. It's going to be more sustainable, and the city is not going to be a Windows display for brand. It's going to be a place that it's remain welcome and where the local can stay wherever they want without overpricing everything. And then the number of the money that is arriving, of course, not in the short term, but in the long term, is more high because of course you are going to develop an entire ecosystem, not just the B&B and all this stuff. Beet Community is based on this side, so we prefer like to have like long-term resident. We work on like our marketing or our communication is based like to describe Palermo as a place to live, not a place to consume. And so as a local, I think is a small battle, and I think that the project of Beet Community in future can be also move from tourism to also residential project, because what's happening in our spaces can happen in an entire building, saving cost, saving space inside your house, and then of course is something that can fight also the chronic isolation that we are having with the digital tools and things, because we can meet each other. If you see what's happening like in the more developed countries, like could be China, Japan, or like all these super digitalized country, they are starting to sell companion services. So I'm going to pay someone to go to have a walk in the park. So for me, it's something crazy when you can have friends, when you can have a community of someone that can do it for free or spontaneous more than free. So I think it's also a personal battle. Of course, with 11 room, 12 room, but even 40 room is not something that is going to change the sort of the city. It's something that need to be like more political, more an ecosystem that is moving all together. And then I understand that it's not easy.
I think you make a really good point. There's this balance between tourist, digital nomad, expat, long-term resident, and where people fall in between. But yes, if someone's staying longer where they need to get their hair cut, they're purchasing a gym pass, they're going to the grocery store not just for that one time, they're finding the butcher, they're finding the bakery and contributing outside of just the one espresso and cornetto and like getting back on the cruise ship, I think there's support there, if I'm correct, that
Yeah,
these big tourist groups that come in, these big buses where they of course provide some money, but they're not contributing to the bigger economy, which really leads us into perhaps why you created another project since you're not training.
Add it to the list.
I don't know if this is like, hopefully you've come to terms with this already. We're not the therapy session that's making me realize this. We have running was replaced with another house, and biking is maybe replaced with the Italia Nomad Fest, which is happening. Yes. When is it happening? Let's just get some dates out for our listeners.
8 to 15 March.
Okay. 2026.
Yes, 26. Here in Palermo, we are like already selling the ticket, but the most important thing is not just the ticket, is that we are creating a bridge between the project more or less is the same, is just another phase, another tools how to arrive to the same goal, is creating like this bridge between locals and travelers. And then in this case also with the public administration, because we are working with like municipality of Palermo, with the public transportation. We are working also with the commercial chamber to organize like some activities. And then of course this partnership that we are building is an occasion to build like during the festival, but it's something that we can develop also for the future. So creating like other new services, not just by Beet Community and Marco, but something that can come directly from the public administration, and to move also this ecosystem of nomads, if you want to call nomads, but also people that won't come and live in Palermo by like for long term, medium long term.
I'm getting the vibe that Italy Nomad Fest is about connecting international people who want to visit Palermo, people who want to connect with other nomads, but also inviting the local community, as we've been talking about. So what's the experience that someone can have at the festival that maybe is a bit different than some of the other nomadic festivals? Bansko is a big one we know about. There's Chiang Mai, there's Athens. What makes Italia Nomad Fest different? In the future, because it hasn't happened yet.
I think that Nomad Fest is something that at the moment is in trending, like between like the organizer or like people that is working in the industries. During the last 2 years, I spent a lot of time like visiting like most of these like Nomad Fest. They are really very well organized, from Bansko to other smaller convention. They are doing a super good job. What I feel during this trip is that yes, I was connected with my industry. I was connected with like a lot of locals, people that is doing my similar job, and it was a great opportunity to create like new opportunity, a new project too. But what I was missing was like the real connection, like to the locals, to like if you go in Portugal, like connecting with someone that is coming from there, or like going in Bulgaria, find like someone that is a new friendship from there. So the main goal is like to have like, of course, the environment of the digital nomads, but not reproducing a bubble or a Luna Park for digital nomad. Like we want that the people, the guest is going to interact with the municipality, but also with the locals. And locals, I don't mean just people from Palermo, but also with the artisan, with like all the handcraft. And so we want to create this strong relationship between like the two sides. is something that is difficult because a problem that we have like here in Palermo is that all the oldest people is like not really speaking really good English, and most of the handcraft, of course, is like ancient job that they need like to pass by. So we have like some good partner that is already speaking English, that they are going to be present at the event, but of course some that is more institutional and traditional, they can have like some small problem. But the point is that how can we matching together if we are speaking all Italian? So there is, of course, inside of this process or already a selection of who we can interact and not. And then for me is something that we can improve in terms of like as land, as a place that hosting something, but we have already someone to show and connect.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like it's very, I mean, there's some similarities between the Nomad Fest that I think that we've had experiences with Anna, but it also sounds like it's very different as well. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. And also, I know there's a lot of planning behind it too. So good luck with that as well. Marco, how have your partnerships and your pre-existing relationships played a role in bringing the whole vision together? Because we just said there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So how does that?
I think that not just organizing event, but most of the time that I'm doing my job in terms of as an entrepreneur or as helping someone else is based on network. So, and then I think that is something where everyone need to invest is the network, because in the world, in this world where we are going to where we are living, the problem is not the know-how, because you can find everywhere how to do things, but you need to know where to take this knowledge and then how to apply and who can apply it. And so I think that the network is something really important. And then for my experience, for the Nomad Fest, for Beet Community, and then for every project that I'm launching and thinking, there is like always like a kind of connection between all the relationship and partnership, and also personal, not just working relationship, but with all of them. So it's important to construct your own network. So
Absolutely.
you need always to know to call, you know. So
Yeah.
I need this. Okay, let's call Gabriele. I don't know. Let's call Anna. So it's important like to know where to knock, in which door to knock. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your community is the biggest thing that supports you and helps you grow as well and evolve as a person. So I can see that something like this is so important to have, and also not just expanding your networks, like you said, business wise, but also personally. And maybe you end up building relationships, let's say like that Anna and I have, or that you and Anna have, and now that
Yeah.
you and I have because of Via. So it's really great to be able to meet people from all parts of the world that you can meet together at the Italia Nomad Fest, and you can create long-lasting friendships or business partners or whatever else you'd like.
Or just eat some good food and wine.
Also, not a bad thing.
Is a good way to make friendship.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so good. And you should check it out, because I wanted to mention that the marketing of it is so, I think everyone gets a little giggle out of it. We love that you're playing on what's kind of become like a meme. I mean, it's part of Italian culture. So I'm not going to say it, because people should go look at it and see what it is. Do you know what I'm talking about, Marco?
No.
Come on. It's your own branding. It's the little graphic.
Wait, what did you say? Repeat again. So I didn't catch it.
The graphic of Italia Nomad Fest.
Ah, okay. The graphic of the Italia Nomad Fest. Sorry.
I love it so much, is what I'm saying.
Ah, okay.
I think
you.
when anyone sees it who is not Italian, we all get a little giggle, which means a small laugh, because we, of course, make fun of Italians for this, and we love that you are using it to market. And it's also just really well designed also. But I think it's...
This
This
is
is a
the
compliment.
thank you. Sorry, I didn't get it before, but all the brand I was distracted, so it's
It's
also
okay.
one of my biggest problem, like to flying away sometimes. Uh, so, but the graphic design was made by Ambra. That is a girl that is working with me like 10 years, something as that. And she's expert in visual identity and brand design. So thanks to her, more than me. So I'm just a connector at the moment for that. So
It's the
Yeah.
network.
yeah, it's network. So
Yeah.
always thanks to the people that is working with me, and I truly believe that again for the connection that we have, like the project is not made by me or by the entrepreneur in general, is made by the people that is working and believe and trust on the process that you are creating and proposing to them. So the big thanks go always to the team more than to the entrepreneur.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much, Marco, for part 2 of our conversation with you to learn more about Beet Community and Italia Nomad Fest. And we will make sure to include links to both places. And obviously, everyone should go in March to Palermo for this exciting festival. And it's the first one. It's so fun to be part of something when it's just beginning and it's in this
Yeah.
experimental stage and get to experience everything as it's happening for the first time. So any parting words for us, Marco?
Any last things? Of course, was a pleasure to be hosted here, and hope that everyone is going to join us for the Italia Nomad Fest. But hope that the people that is looking for this podcast can can take something from like what I learned, trying to share. Like it's not easy in like this small time, but hope that is going to be important for someone that wants like approach work life in general or entrepreneurship.
Definitely. I think they definitely can. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast for these 2 episodes. And as always, we are Where She Builds. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm Anna, your travel friend Anna, joined always by Shandy at Coach Shandy, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Thank
Ciao
you.
for
It was a
now.
pleasure. Ciao.
Ciao.